We have back one of our regular reporters, Marc Z, from Longfellow Staffing and Marc Z Legal Staffing. And Marc, it's good to have you back.
Peter, it's good to be back, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to answer some questions from the last segment, because I guess we got some people that have followed up, because
we did. It was a good show, and people called in on the snow day questions that you were discussing and wanted to hear a little more.
Absolutely. So the way we had left it, Peter, we were talking about expectations now from employers and giving employees or temporary employees keys to the store during snow days. And, what we had talked about was setting guidelines. And employers today, particularly employers that are very service-oriented, they really don't want the train to stop if they don't have to. They want productivity to keep going, particularly when you have the internet, particularly when job functions can be done inside. So what we found is I had told you that we surveyed, I think, about 25, 30 employers in terms of what happened during the snow day, or what could happen during the snow day, what they were doing. This was on Monday before, and then the following days after the storm.
So you actually talked to the employers beforehand to try to set their expectations, and I assume your staff's expectations, and then you followed up with them after the storm as well?
Yes.
That's really interesting. So what were the results?
The results were, which is interesting, I think that a lot of the employers were not as realistic in terms of thinking that, okay, certain people, we're going to get things done. We're giving them internet access. They were going to get a lot of work done. It's going to be very similar to a regular work day. And for employees that have always worked at home or work virtually maybe one day a week, that's true. That's what happened. They, in terms of, they were productive. They did meet that expectation because they were used to it. What a Corey check was instituted about 3 years ago by the state, and it's the passage of the 2010 Massachusetts Criminal Offender Record Information, Corey Reform Bill, where employers now have less access to criminal information. What was happening was there were people out there that served their time, whether it was in prison or whether it is probationary or some other means through a misdemeanor or a felony, and after they did this time, they would apply for a position, and right on the application it would say, have you ever been convicted of a felony, or have you ever been convicted of any crime? By doing that, it flagged the fact that they had been convicted of a crime, and a lot of employers didn't want to hire this person. In other words, they didn't look what was the reason something happened. They
just wanted to know that somebody had committed a crime.
Once they did, it was done.
Okay, so that became a definitive job condition.
Correct. So there was this reform bill, which again is going into its fifth year. It was really in place because it was effective November 2010. Employers were prohibited from asking a Massachusetts applicant about their criminal history on a job application. And beginning 3 years ago, access to Corey became part of their website. So they had an iCorey website where employers could go on and check somebody's criminal background history. But what I want to say is, and what I wanted to talk about is, because now references are less important to employers, and because they can't put on their application in Massachusetts, have you been convicted of a crime? Have you been convicted of a felony? These employers are really getting aggressive with background checks.